It's a Thursday edition of Inside Cowboys Training Camp presented by Ford here from Oxnard, California. David Helman, Kyle Youmans here for DallasCowboys.com, and it's an exciting day. Dave, how about that? Football is back in the NFL.
It's in the air, man. First game of the year, only game on TV. We're putting last year behind us. We're not going to talk about it anymore. Just the excitement of 2021, baby.
The Cowboys and the Steelers taking on each other in the first preseason game of the NFL schedule. It comes on tonight. And, well, there's a lot of excitement around this game, but I think one of the biggest things is what can the Cowboys expect to see and Cowboys fans out there expect to see on the field tonight in Canton?
All I know is I'm never going to take a preseason game for granted again. Like, it's easy to roll your eyes at having to go through these exhibition games, but we saw last year how important it is. And you learn so much about this team. You get reps. And to be honest, we don't know 100% what the rotations are going to be tonight. I mean, Dak Prescott's not going to play. We know that. I doubt you're going to see too many of the big-name stars, but I think a lot of these guys will get onto the field. You got to play a lot of players to get through a game like this. You can't afford to sit everybody. So I think it's hard to predict the exact rotation, but it's just going to be nice to get back into this groove of getting live reps against an opponent.
And it's something that I know the players are looking forward to because you get a chance to see somebody with a different jersey on the other side of the field, and it's something the Cowboys haven't seen, of course, in the preseason since 2019. Now, what is the biggest priority for this coaching staff heading into the night? You mentioned the rotations and, of course, some of these younger players, but what are you looking for?
I mean, there's a million things that you can focus on, especially you think about, okay, this rookie class is huge. 11 draft picks that have never played in an NFL game, even an exhibition game. How about last year's rookie class? Everybody that made the team last year, even a guy like CeeDee Lamb, who had this amazing rookie year, has never done this before. So that's fun to think about. But for me, and this is obvious, but I want to see Ben DiNucci play in this game. You know, you think about what he had to go through last year, his only real playing experience, national TV against Philadelphia in an emergency, didn't have preseason games, barely got any reps. You know, third-string quarterback maybe gets 5 or 6 reps per practice. So to go from that to playing the Eagles on Sunday Night Football is insane. So I'm excited to see him get in. Won't start this game, but he'll get in at some point and get to go against the second string and the third string. Be a way more forgiving environment, if I had to guess. So I'm excited to see him.
And this has been a Cowboys organization that in the past has seen some of those backup quarterbacks start to shine in the preseason. One of them is your starting quarterback at the moment in terms of Dak Prescott. He shined in his rookie season in the preseason as well to kind of put himself in the right position. But who else does David Helman have his eyes on? We're going to do some players to watch. Who are the ones that you're going to look for in Canton tonight?
Inside Cowboys Training Camp, presented by Ford, is brought to you by AT&T. More for your thing, that's our thing. Sleep Number. The Sleep Number 360 smart bed helps everyone from parents to pros improve their performance through quality sleep, only at a Sleep Number store. And by Ford, built for Texas, built for you. This segment is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors, official sporting goods retailer of the Dallas Cowboys.
Welcome back to Oxnard, California for more Inside Cowboys Training Camp on the night of Game 1 of the 2021 preseason. And David, I want you to give me some players to watch for the Dallas Cowboys. You mentioned Ben DiNucci in that first segment. He's, of course, one that we need to keep our eye on in terms of the quarterback position. Anybody else?
Yeah, I mean, you can go down the whole list. And that's the fun thing is, even with the established guys probably not playing a lot, there's so many great storylines. Every year at training camp, there's a receiver or two that really stand out. I think Malik Turner is that guy for a lot of people. Can you take it into the game? When the lights are on, when you're on national TV, can you make those plays? Simi Fehoko, same way, has looked really good as an intriguing, draft pick out here. Can he translate that? I'll be a homer for a second. My LSU guy, Jabril Cox, really hasn't had a chance to do a lot out here. It's fair to say we haven't seen a lot from him. He's kind of buried on the depth chart. He's going to play a lot in this game, if I had to guess. Second half reps against third teamers, special team snaps. How does he deal with that? He might be a guy that we're talking about a lot on Friday after not talking up to him up to this point.
That's a very good point. You mentioned some of those wide receivers. How about the wide receivers that they're trying to take the job from? Guys like Noah Brown and maybe even Cedric Wilson, if they are going to see some playing time, I think they need to have big games because they've got a bunch of guys who have played really well here in Oxnard that are sitting behind him. Somebody who played really well in the preseason a couple years ago, actually in the Hall of Fame game, Cooper Rush, had this to say about his experience and what he learned back in 2017.
Yeah, looking back at that, I mean, watch the film and stuff. I mean, just happened to kind of a freak thing. Everything was wide open, everything was working, everything was clicking. Played well the next few years too, but that year was different. It just happened to be everything was rolling. Yeah, you always want to get back to that where it's just free flowing, first guy's open and getting a groove. I think I was just excited to get out there and play. In practice environments, things are kind of staged, set up, and when you're out there playing, kind of really show who you are. Game time decisions, playing fast, kind of running the show without a structured environment. You're out there on your own with those guys making plays.
Our player audio presented by Sleep Number, and Cooper Rush going to see a lot of snaps tonight at the backup quarterback spot, kind of in that rotation with Garrett Gilbert and Ben DiNucci. But what about the guys they're going up against? What is this Steelers team bringing to the table?
I mean, I'm not going to pretend to know. I barely know who's going to play for the Cowboys, let alone what the Steelers are going to do. But I got to imagine there's some really intriguing young talent on that team. I mean, one of the more interesting first-round picks, Najee Harris, beast at Alabama last year. I hope we get to see him. Chase Claypool, Deontay Johnson. I mean, Pittsburgh quietly, even after losing guys like Antonio Brown, still a heck of a receiver core there. Again, it's hard to say how much they're going to play, but this is a team that started 11-0 last year. They got a lot of talent.
They've got a ton of talent, lots of young talent. You mentioned Harris. If you're trying to fix the run defense, that might be one guy to try and test it out a little bit early.
Season off with.
Exactly so. I'm also going to put you on the spot here in this final segment because when we come back here on Inside Cowboys Training Camp presented by Ford, how about some playoff predictions? I've got some rapid-fire, bold predictions for David Helman when we return right after this.
This segment was brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors, official sporting goods retailer of the Dallas Cowboys.
Final segment here of Inside Cowboys Training Camp driven by Ford. David Helman, Kyle Youmans here from Oxnard, California. And all right, David, I got 3 questions for you. Entering preseason game number 1. This is about the generic full preseason. Okay. So we've got some time for this to play out. Okay. But question number 1, who's going to be the MVP on offense throughout these 4 games?
I feel like I've been saying this a lot. I'm just going to keep riding this train. Shewo Alanalua.
Wow.
Because he's going to get playing time. He's down the depth chart a little bit. Big boy, 6'3", 240 pounds. I just see him pounding the rock in there in the second half of a lot of these games. I'm hoping he can pile up some yardage and some touchdowns.
I really like that a lot. He was an undrafted free agent out of TCU a year ago, kind of teeter-tottered back and forth between the practice squad and the active roster. Exactly, as an undrafted free agent. So I like that pick. That's a sneaky one. I'm going to flip the script a little bit. Who's the defensive MVP throughout the preseason?
The only thing, I just worry that he's going to be too good to get a lot of playing time. But let's just go Micah Parsons. He's flying around out here. He's getting sacks. He's getting interceptions. If he translates even a little bit of that to the preseason, it's going to be awfully impressive. And I think they're going to let him play. He's still a rookie. He needs to acclimate. So I think he's going to have a chance to make an impact.
A little follow-up on that. Where do you expect him to play the majority of his time? Because they've moved him around throughout training camp. Do you expect the same in the preseason?
Well, I doubt you want to show too much either. Keep that in mind, the versatility of it all. They hate talking about the specifics of the scheme. So I would imagine I'm looking for him at Mike probably with maybe a few wrinkles thrown in.
Little middle linebacker there for Micah Parsons. Final one really quickly here. Who is a surprise starter that's going to emerge for the preseason and start in week 1?
This is tough. There aren't a lot of options. I've been on the record a million times saying I think the veterans are going to hold down the cornerback jobs. So I'm going to cheat, Kyle. I'm sorry. Okay. What's going to happen is Dalton Schultz is going to be a surprise starter because the Cowboys are going to come out in 12 personnel to open the game against Tampa Bay. So Jarwin and Schultz will be on the field at the same time. That's how I get out of that without saying anything really juicy.
One of the best quotes of camp is Dalton Schultz saying, we're going to make it tough on Kellen Moore to go to 11 personnel with all these receivers.
He looks good out
They've done that so far. He's David Helman. I'm Kyle Youmans. Enjoy the Hall of Fame game, everybody. We'll see you after the game tomorrow here on more Inside Cowboys Training Camp.
Inside Cowboys Training Camp, presented by Ford, was brought to you by AT&T. More for your thing, that's our thing. Sleep Number. The Sleep Number 360 smart bed helps everyone from parents to pros improve their performance through quality sleep. Only at a Sleep Number store. And by Ford. Built for Texas, built for you.